Hi, Mr. Mtalini. I was just checking to see if I'm audible.
Morning, Chairperson. You are audible, Chair.
Great. Thank you very much. Good morning. Uh, I see we already have some members on the platform.
Yes.
Thank you very much. We're going to start the meeting at 10 o'clock. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair.
Untitled, are you ready?
Yes, Chairperson, I am ready, Chair.
Great. Welcome back, by the way. Good to see you had a safe trip.
Thank you, Chairperson.
Right, honorable members.
Recording
thank you
in
very
progress.
much. Honorable members, thank you very much and welcome to this Select Committee on Public Infrastructure and Minister in the Presidency's meeting for today, the 23rd of July. Honorable members, first of all, just my apologies. We said last week that we were not going to have this meeting. Unfortunately, because the department indicated that they weren't ready for us or they were busy with another engagement this week. But unfortunately, if we don't do this meeting today and handle the business at hand, which is the strategic plan and the annual performance plan and the budget of the department, then we will not be able to complete the committee's work for this term in line with what is required with regards to ATCing the report by the 29th of this month. So in order to get that onto the ATC and to complete our term work, we needed to have this meeting today. So first of all, I'd like to thank the department's commitment to meet with us this morning and thank all of you. I know it's been a tough month with all the budget policy debates, but we're nearly there. So welcome to all of you and thank you very much for making it to this meeting. And again, thank you for my staff, for the committee staff, Mr. Untitled, to you and to Dr. Clark and to Zoliswa. Thank you very much. There's a bit of work today, honorable members, because we're going to have to break for an hour in which the staff will have to prepare the report, which we will have to adopt again, but we'll go through that now. So with that, let's just go through the meeting program quickly. We will start with the introductions of the committee members and then the department's representatives, and then go on to the briefing. The briefing will be from 10:15 until 10:55. I'm just saying it in advance to the representatives of the department. I'm sorry, but that is how much time we give to everybody who has presented their budget plans to us. 40 minutes. We have received your presentations beforehand. The committee members have had time to go through it. So if you can just do the highlights of the plan for us, it'll be much appreciated. We'll give you time until 10:55. Then we'll give the committee time for deliberations from 10:55 until 11:35. And then, honorable members, we'll excuse the department at 11:35. We will then go on to some homework. We'll do the adoption of 2 reports, or 1 report, and the minutes of a previous meeting. And the committee will then break, hopefully by 11:45 until 1 o'clock. That'll give Dr. Clark enough time to prepare the report, and then we'll reconvene online at 1 o'clock just for 10 minutes to peruse, consider, and adopt the report which will be prepared by Dr. Clark. So with that, I'd like to thank you all for your attendance. And Mr. Untitled, are there any apologies on your side?
Good morning, Chairperson, and good morning, honorable members and the department. The only apology that we have received, Chairperson, is the apology from the minister. The minister, we are told she's attending a train-line whip in the NA today. They are dealing with the appropriation bill.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Untitled. Honorable members, with those apologies then included, can I ask for a proposal for the adoption of the meeting program? Thank you, Honorable Kaunda, seconded by Honorable Skeerkogel. Thank you very much, Honorable Brett. I also see your hand. Thank you very much. Can we then go on with the formal introductions? I'll start with the members of the committee. My name is Rikus Baardmors. I'm a permanent delegate from the Western Cape. Let us start with Honorable, see on my list here, Honorable Skeerkogel. Just put your camera on and introduce yourself, and I'll call the next person's name afterwards. Thank you.
Good day, Chairperson. My name is Igor Skeerkogel. I am a permanent delegate of the Free State. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you very much. Honorable Nzimande.
Good morning. My name is Chaplain Zimande, permanent delegate from Gauteng.
Thank you, Honorable Zimande. I must just congratulate you. Your camouflage is working perfectly this morning because we can't see your face at all. Let's just go on to Honorable Treza.
Good morning, Honorable Chairperson, honorable members, colleagues. My name is Kanya Treza. I'm a permanent delegate from Mpumalanga. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you very much, Honorable Mabebo.
Good morning, Chairperson. My name is Honorable Mabebo from the Northwest. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Mabebo. Just remember to put your camera on when you have a turn later on in the question session. Honorable Peter.
Good morning, Honorable Chair and the team. My name is Manza Peter, permanent delegate from Eastern Cape.
Thank you very much, Honorable Breed.
Morning, Chairperson. Good day, everyone. My name is Tammy Breed. I'm a permanent delegate from the Free State.
Thank you very much. Welcome, Honorable Molokome.
Thank you, Chairperson. My name is Regina Molokome, permanent delegate from Limpopo Province and also the whip of this committee. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Committee Whip. Honorable Muyemang, our Chief Whip.
Good morning, Chairperson. My name is Kenny Muima, a permanent delegate from Northern Cape and a member of this committee. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Last but not least, I think, Honorable Kahunda.
Good morning, Honorable Chairperson and colleagues. My name is Iko Mkolisi Kahunda from KZN, permanent delegate. Iko in Nigeria is called Inkosi, not Honorable Iko Skirkoher. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Kahunda. I'm just making sure, did I leave anybody out? I don't think so.
Yes, Chair.
No. Honorable Makasini, welcome back. It's good to hear your voice.
Okay, thank you, Chair. Sorry. I'm Honorable Mandisa Makesini from Free State, permanent delegate. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Makasini. It's good to see that you have recovered. It's good to have you back in the committee. Thank you very much.
She also won the by-election, Chair.
Everything.
Thank you, honorable members. Let us try and stick to our committee discipline. Let us go over to the department now. Is the DG, I think he's on the attendance list. DG Nkuna, are you in?
Yes, I'm here, Chairperson. Good morning to you. Good morning to honorable members and my colleagues from the department. I'm Robert Nkuna, the Director General. And Chair, I will quickly assist you to introduce the other colleagues. DDG Mashamba, please switch on. Mashamba, followed by DDG Gugu. Godfrey Mashamba, please introduce yourself.
Good morning. My name is Godfrey Mashamba. I am the Deputy Director General responsible for evaluations at the DPME. Thank you.
Thank you. DDG Gugu. Gugu Timani. I thought I saw her.
Yeah, no, I'm here. It's just that there's an echo. I'm with Advocate Makobe. I'm Gugu Timane. I'm the Deputy Director General for Public Sector Monitoring and Capacity Development. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, DDG. DDG Makobe.
Good morning. My name is Melashin Makobe. I'm the DDG of State-Owned Enterprises and also of Corporate Services in the department. Thank you.
Okay, Chair, I will apologize on behalf of colleagues. When you see the black pictures, we are somewhere in Mpumalanga hosting the G20 Development Working Group. So I think all of us are trying to improvise. Dr. Ngcobo?
Morning, honorable members. Morning, DG. My name is Fiso Ngcobo. I'm the head of the Director General's office. Thank you.
Okay, lastly, Mr. Madale Clement, who is going to lead the presentation. Madale, please introduce yourself.
Good morning, Chair and colleagues. My name is Clement Madale. I'm responsible for departmental planning. Thank you.
Chair, that concludes the delegation from the department.
Thank you very much, Deputy Director General. Thank you very much. We appreciate that, and we also appreciate the fact that you are coming to us from a site in Mpumalanga, and we will try and keep our deliberations as brief as possible. Allow me just to make a few introductory remarks. Honourable members, today we consider the Strategic Plan 2025-2030, the Annual Performance Plan of 2025-26, and the estimates of national expenditure of the Department of Planning, Monitoring and Evaluation. Honourable members, this department does not deliver services directly, but this department's influence reverberates across the entire machinery of our government. Its successes or failures shapes the quality of governance in every single sector. We are meeting at a time when public trust in government performance is under strain. Citizens rightly demand more transparency, better outcomes, and stronger accountability. The Department of Planning, Monitoring and Evaluation is tasked with responding to this demand through institutionalizing long-term planning, improving monitoring mechanisms, and driving evidence-based decision-making. So the department's strategic priorities are aligned to the medium-term development plan for 2024-29, which focuses on three pillars: the inclusive economic growth and job creation, reducing poverty and the cost of living, and building a capable ethical developmental state. Honourable members, these are not abstract concepts. They are the basis upon which people judge the relevance of government in their daily lives. This year's budget of 509 million rand marks a 13% increase from the previous cycle. This reflects a significant function shift with the absorption of certain functions from the Department of Public Enterprises, including the formation of a new state-owned enterprise holding company. However, 73% of the budget remains locked into compensation of employees, and that raises critical questions about whether enough funding is flowing to innovation, implementation, and measurable results. We also note the department's progress in digital transformation, the launch of the AI-enabled monitoring dashboards, and the strengthening of the evaluation framework. These are steps in the right direction, DG, but we must also engage frankly. The department still lacks a legislative mandate, which continues to undermine its authority in coordinating and enforcing planning standards across spheres. Colleagues, the Department of Planning, Monitoring and Evaluation is the government's planning compass. If this compass loses direction, so do all of us. Today, we expect to hear how this budget will give us sharper tools, stronger evidence, and faster interventions. We look forward to robust engagement, as always, with the committee members and clear commitments from the department. I now like to, through you, DG, invite the department to start the presentation. Thank you very much.
Okay. Now, thank you, Chairperson, for your intervention with your opening address, which helps us as we start to present. So, Chairperson, I'll start on my side by dealing with some of the issues that happened since our last meeting, so that there is an appreciation on the side of the committee that as we engage, the department does follow up on the issues that are being raised by members of the committee. The one issue that I need to indicate, Chairperson, is that the committee made mention of the capacity of the department and the fact that a lot of our budget goes to compensation of employees. Now, the department works differently compared to other departments. As you correctly said, that we are not an implementing department, but we are an oversight department and do quality assurance, working with the AGSA and other institutions. Now, the people that we have at DPME, they are all experts. So we hire experts, meaning that once we have the experts, we will not go out and seek consultancies to do work for us. So when it comes to the work that we do, more than 80% of the work that we do is done internally by the experts. So in each and every area, once you have hired an expert, you don't need a consultant. So that's what we do. The alternative would have been for us to go out and ask consultants, have fewer people internally, and then use consultants. But that will not work in our case because that affects institutional memory. So we'll ask that we reach an understanding with the committee that the nature of the department is such that when we employ people, we should focus on experts, and those experts must not go and look for consultants, but they must do the work that's supposed to be done internally. The other issue that I wish to raise is what honorable members said with regard to outcomes, wherein it was argued that the department cannot be driving government to just implement activities and deliver outputs, but we need to focus on outcomes. So we need to focus on outcomes to an extent that even as we report here, we must report on the basis of the extent to which government is meeting outcomes. Now, in that regard, Chair, we worked on the MTDP, the medium-term development plan that you referred to. We coordinated it, and we finalized it on record time because the GNU was set up in July last year. And within a month or so, we have made some strides in terms of understanding the direction that the GNU was going to take. And in February this year, the plan was adopted by Cabinet, and that's what we are implementing. So we've managed to get all government departments at the national and provincial levels to align with the MTDP. The key issue here is that the MTDP is outcomes-based, and we are driving the whole of government towards that direction. So what is outstanding is further engagement with local government to see how we can align when it comes to outcomes. So in short, Chair, I was just saying that pursuant to our previous engagement, we have paid attention to the issues that were raised by the committee with regard to the capacity of the department, but also with regard to the direction that government is taking to focus more on outcomes and less on the intermediary activities and processes, even though they are important. Having said that, Chair, I will ask Mr. Madale. He had you in terms of time, so you will just do the presentation within the allocated time, and the DDGs are here as they've introduced themselves. They will also participate in the engagements that will follow. Thank you. Mr. Madale?
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, DG. I'm not able to share the presentation. It seems like the host has disabled screen sharing.
Mr. Bellini, can you assist from your side?
Not that, Chairperson.
Maybe you can fly it and they can talk to it.
No, I've given them the hosting rights.
Yeah, we can see it, Mr. Ndala. It looks like yours. There we go. You got it.
Okay, thank you, Chair. I'll talk to the presentation as you have correctly indicated that the presentation was shared and read. So I'll be talking to the slides and not necessarily reading through them. So here is the layout of our presentation, which focuses on the core mandate of DPME, and also outline the strategic plan for 2025-2030, which focuses on the vision, mission, impact statement, organizational structure, the theory of change, and the APP targets. And the last part will deal with the issue of the budget. Now, Chair, as you have correctly indicated, our core function revolves around planning, monitoring, evaluation, and interventions where required. Our vision, Chair, is that of being a leader and catalyst for the country's developmental goal. And we do that through the coordination and development of evidence-based planning, monitoring, and evaluation. We want to be client-focused, be a learning organization, and promote a progressive and quality management practice. The impact statement that has been developed is to improve the country's developmental outcomes as envisaged in the National Development Plan. And we have identified for ourselves the outcomes being that of improved governance and capacity of the department and improved government-wide planning. We want to do continuous assessment in the implementation of the NDP and the MTDP. And we want to use data to inform evidence-based planning and implementation monitoring. And all this should be centered and grounded on the engagement with the relevant stakeholders to ensure that whatever we do as DPME is underpinned by stakeholder engagements. We are organized as follows in terms of the 5 branches. We've got administration, then we've got the National Planning Commission Secretariat, National Planning Coordination, the sector monitoring, public sector monitoring, and evidence, as well as evaluation and knowledge systems. Just to mention that as part of the national macro organization of the state process, DPM is integrating the functions from the now defunct Department of Public Enterprises. This busy slide indicate our theory of change. At the top of what we want to achieve is improved countries' developmental outcomes. And that is underpinned by wider outcomes, which is improved planning, monitoring, evaluation, accountability, and citizens contributing as well as being efficient in whatever we do. This is our delivery model, which span around the 3 core functions being planning, evaluation, and monitoring. In terms of planning, we want to use appropriate tools that inform the plans of government and operational planning as well as the funding thereof. That then informs the implementation and monitoring. We then evaluate, do diagnosis, and the cycle continues. Our integrated monitoring system is underpinned by outcomes monitoring, which is the monitoring of the MTDP, as well as public sector monitoring, which is focused on specific monitoring like frontline and citizen-based, as well as monitoring of special projects. As you have rightly indicated, Chair, our plans are informed by the 3 driving forces of the 7th administration, being to drive into inclusive growth, reduce poverty, and tackle the high cost of living, as well as build a capable and ethical state. In terms of our annual performance plan under Program 1, our main focus area for this program is mainly to provide strategic leadership and management. And the key thing that we'll be doing is the review of the organizational structure and the budget structure to streamline and optimize the use of scarce resources in achieving our 3 core functions, as well as the establishment of the SOE holding company. Administration is broken down into those 6 units. In fact, I will not speak to them. They are standard. In fact, there are 10, including strategy and communication, HR and corporate services, information technology, and etc. In terms of the targets for this program 1, we have a target that speaks to the production of reports, the filling of vacancies, the payment of suppliers, as well as procurement that is supposed to support the PDIs. In terms of Program 2A, which is the National Planning Commission Secretariat, this is organized according to those 3 core functions, which focuses on economic development, enhancing the quality of life, and active civil citizens in a capable state. The key products that they produce, it's mainly the monitoring reports on the implementation of the NDP, which is informed, of course, which informs the MTDP. We do research, we do stakeholder engagement, and we also produce the annual report for the NPC. In terms of the National Planning Coordination Branch, which is the key branch in terms of coordinating the development of government-wide plans, DG has mentioned the fact that we have produced the medium-term development plan, which is informing the work of the 7th administration. And as part of that function, to ensure that departmental plans are aligned with the MTDP, we do the assessment of their strategic plans and annual performance plan and provide them with advice. We also do budget prioritization, working with National Treasury to ensure that those outcomes and outputs as anticipated in the MTDP are actually funded. And in this regard, we also do planning that supports a specialization of the MTDP using the National Special Development Framework. This slide indicates the planning ecosystem, which is informed by the Constitution, policies, laws, commitments, and international commitments that feeds into the National Development Plan, which also informs the development of the medium-term plan, and that goes to inform national annual implementation plans and operational plans of departments. In this regard, our annual performance is focused on the development of the budget prioritization framework, and the alignment of the budget, and also the assessment of strategic plan and APPs of national departments. We also work with provincial departments to assess their provincial plans, working with offices of the Premier. The other thing that we do as part of monitoring the implementation of those plans, we do quarterly reporting for all national departments, and we issue guidelines in that regard to inform how they should report vis-a-vis what is planned in their APPs. The other key initiative that we are undertaking is the issue of the specialization of plans to ensure that development is located within space. In terms of sector monitoring services, this is the branch that focuses on the implementation of the medium-term development plan as outlined. And in the main, we track performance of government priorities towards the attainment of the NDP and the medium-term development plan. We produce in that regard biannual integrated MTSF monitoring reports, which informs Cabinet about the progress that is being made or lack thereof. We also do the review of the medium-term development plan in terms of overall government performance. We do substantive sector analysis reports on key priorities, and this is underpinned by the frontline monitoring and citizen-based monitoring work that we do to inform these biannual reports. So the outputs, it's mainly the monitoring reports, but also the key thing that we do is the preparation of briefing notes to Cabinet to ensure that there is policy cohesion and alignment regarding whatever is being presented to Cabinet. This year, we are also engaged with the process of G20, where DG indicated they are engaged with this process of G20. Program 4, Chair, which is public sector monitoring and capacity building. It's organized in these 4 quadrants, being public sector monitoring and support, public and frontline monitoring and capacity development. So critical is that in the process of undertaking our work, we from time to time coordinate the capacity development to ensure that effective development and application of the PME policies, tools and systems and guidelines are implemented government-wide. We also do monitoring of performance agreement of HODs. We also monitor national and provincial departments' performances and capacity. Of late, we are also doing monitoring of state-owned enterprises. Frontline monitoring, it's something that we do on a continuous basis. And the analysis and monitoring performance on the presidential hotline is one of the key outputs that we focus on. The last program, Chair, is evaluation and evidence as well as knowledge systems. This branch is mainly responsible for evaluations as well as research and knowledge management. And that is underpinned by the development of data integration systems that assist us in terms of planning, monitor, and monitoring function. Our focus will be in enhancing data quality to support planning, monitoring, and evaluation, strengthening integrated reporting dashboards and evaluation, as well as build capacity in data science and evidence synthesis, as well as impact evaluation. The products that they produce is evidence planning to support the country's development agenda, as well as evidence-based support provided to government institutions. And in that regard, they produce various products that support the work of the department and other government departments. In relation to our budget, Chair,
We just lost your audio, I think. Mr. Madale, we just lost your audio.
Yes, Chair.
Okay.
We have done, yeah, if the CFO is online, can take over on this one. CFO?
Good morning, honorable members. Good morning, DG and colleagues. In terms of our budget, the department for the 2025-26 financial year, it's allocated 509 million. Out of that 509 million, 371 is for COE. In this financial year, the department was allocated 35 million from DPE for the transfer of functions and also winding up of the department. And for the outer years, from the 2024-25 financial year, our budget has grown by 13.1%. And in the outer years, it has grown it will grow by 3.7 and 4.5 million. Then 4.5%. The next slide. In terms of budget per program, out of the 5 programs, we've tabulated what each program got for the financial year, is allocated for the financial year. And then in terms of economic classification, for compensation of employees is indicated, it's about 371 million. And for goods and services is 134 million. And for payment of capital assets, it's 2.8 million. The next slide. The next one. And out of the budget of 134 for goods and services, which represents 26% of the budget of the department, about 70% of the budget allocated, it's already committed for multi-year commitments. So the department is left with about plus minus 30% to carry out its operations. And COE makes about 73% of the budget. Thank you, Chairperson. Thank you. That's the last slide. Oh.
Thank you, DG. Are you done, or would you like to do any remarks before we go?
Yes, Chair, we are done with the presentation. I think I've made the point in terms of the nature of expenditure in this department, and we can take it some more if there is a need to do so. Thank you.
Thank you very much, honourable members. There you have it. We are doing well for time. Let's try and stick to that if possible. That will give Dr. Clark enough time at the end of this meeting to prepare the report. So by show of hands, are there any engagements from the members? I've got Honourable Peter, then I've got Honourable Skeerkogel, Honourable Teza, Honourable Nzimande. Let's start with Honourable Peter. Honourable members, can we try and stick to our normal 3-minute rule, and then we'll see if there's time to go around again afterwards. Thank you very much, Honourable Peter. You can continue.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning to the team as well. Chair, from the DG side, DG, you mentioned that the expert is the one who does the job perfectly. Who monitors the job after the expert has done it? That is my first question. My second question and the last, based on your job, since the first administration up to the 7th administration, surely some of the questions we ask are not new. Does this question add value to your department? If yes, could your department summarize the achievements from the first administration up to the 7th administration? I thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Peter. Let's take Honourable Skeerkogel as well then. Thank you very much for the time management there.
Thank you, Speaker. Let me put my timer on here. All right. I just want to find out why the Department of Independent Monitoring and Evaluation had failed to fill those critical vacancies in stats essay, because this could clearly be linked to the affected we had on the national statistics, because we, as I'm not mistaken, over 30% plus were uncounted by stats essay. Then why is there still in essay, despite the audit concerns that was raised in previous year? And this could clearly have an impact on how the world views South Africa, and it affects our investment and our job creation. So I just want to find out why is there still instability? And then how does the department ensure that the departments are persistent with underperformance, and how do they escalate, and how do they hold these different departments accountable when they underperform? And then I don't know if the DG or somebody else will be able to answer, or maybe it's something will go to the minister. But has all the ministers signed their performance agreements? Because I've now submitted multiple times written questions, and yet I haven't received a complete answer. What's being done with this, and I think this is something that possibly needs to be made available to the public, because we need to hold our minister accountable so they can deliver. Then what is the delay in finishing the framework for the draft planning framework and the draft SOE oversight framework? And when would we be able to share this with the committee? Then my second last question, Chairperson, has the department not considered encouraging National Treasury to link compliance and result-based so that we can make sure that departments or different ministries get discretional budget increases? Because sometimes it's a blanket approach where everybody gets money, but not everybody performs to what we would want them to do. And then what has the department done to prevent repeat findings from the AG's report in their own program performance? And Chair, I think that is my good time management. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honourable Skeerkogel. DG, I think let's go over to the department for responses on those two sets of questions. Thank you very much.
Okay, no, thanks, Chair. I will share the questions with the DGs who are on here. So, but on the issue of who monitors a DPME, I would say that given the nature of this department, we report to Cabinet. So just a week ago, we spent 3 days in Cabinet as DPME, presenting to all 5 Cabinet committees, starting on a Tuesday, ending on a Wednesday. So as to whether what we're doing is good or not can be determined at that level by Cabinet itself. But also we are audited like any other department by the Auditor General, and our reports are published. So that's another level of assurance. But most importantly, we are required to come to this committee. And Chair, if I were to speak on our interaction with this committee, I would say that there are many reports, the things that we have done as DPME, that we can share with this committee, because that would be very important also for the committee to gauge what we are doing as DPME. So we are assessed like everyone by the AG is a process, but we rely most importantly in Parliament and the Cabinet as the key institutions that will tell us whether we're going or coming. Then, Chair, I'll ask DDG Mashamba to speak about the 30-year review. It's a long report, obviously, but it will just give snippets of what we've seen. The State SA has presented on its APP and budget. We are equally concerned about the state of the institution. It's a very critical institution, but then this work is done at the treasury level in terms of the allocation of resources. So we can come back on this issue if need be. Then on the issue of performance agreements, DDG Gugu will speak on this and explain where we are now in finalizing the current round of performance agreements. DDG Makobe will speak on the SOC bill and other work that we are doing to ensure that not only the 7 state entities are governed in a particular way, but to also the other entities. Then the CFO will then comment lastly on the AXA report, on the extent to which we have been improving on various matters, including the way we have been trying to manage irregular expenditure in the organization. So quickly, Chair, with your permission, DDG Mashamba will start on the 30-year review and just give a ballpark assessment of what we picked up when we did the assessment. Over to you, DDG.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, DG, for an opportunity. Yes, the 30-year review of democracy in South Africa, we produced it last year. It was launched by the President on the 8th of May. What we intended doing was to take stock of the progress that the country has actually made over the 30 years, 3 decades of democracy, and also to assess some of the persistent challenges of development so that we can engage the wider society about where we are as a country. Importantly, we have used the outcome of our engagement with various sectors of society to feed into the planning for the next administration, which is the 7th administration. Research that was done contributing to the 30-year review, we ran a series of workshops with the National Planning Commission and stakeholders in the various sectors of government and outside, plus also dedicated sessions with the NEDLAC, where a forum of involving social partners, business, government, labor, and society to discuss what is coming out. And NEDLAC has actually used that report to make recommendations for the 7th administration. So that report remains available also for researchers and anyone else who wants to access it to do their determinations. But what comes out is very, very important is that assessment of progress sometimes depends on where you are. But for purposes of planning for this administration, it actually have set a tone of what are the things to prioritize, but also makes a very strong statement about that this administration need to start a process of thinking about beyond 2030. So processes to plan for beyond 2030 need to start. The strategic priority that is in the current medium-term strategic plan of focusing on growing the economy is one of the central themes on the recommendations that comes out of the 30-year review. Thank you very much. I'll leave it there. The report remains available. It can be made available to committee members, the link for them to access. Thank you.
No, thanks, DDG. Through you, Chairperson, so that report is available. We're also part of calamity scenarios, which can also be shared. But let me move on with your permission, Chair, to DDG Gugu Timani to speak about the performance agreements of ministers, where we are at present. DG.
Thanks, DG. Morning to all the honorable in a meeting and colleagues, DG and everyone. Yes, maybe the issues of the performance agreement, as you know, that we are in the GNU were to make sure that the MTDP for 2024 to 2029, it reflects the aspiration from the other parties. And the MTDP was approved by cabinet. So very soon there's a letter that was issued by the president himself to all the ministers, informing them about the performance agreement that will be signed very, very soon. And we have populated some information for the ministers, and we are using the colleagues from the outcome facilitators, that is from the sector branch, in terms of assisting the ministers, and when the ministers are about to sign the performance agreement, they'll come with their DGs in the engagement with the president, because we're avoiding a situation where the minister will sign a performance agreement with the president, and then the DG will say, we don't know about this. Yeah. So we are actually almost concluding that process. Even yesterday, we're talking with the chief of staff in the office of the president about the same issues of performance agreement. Yeah, the issues of access to the public, I think it's an issue that is debatable. Yeah, because some will tell to say the law doesn't say that there must be performance, but there's an issues of your social compact and all that, and we have made our input to say maybe this is how it should be accessed, but we leave that to the office of the president. In summary, I'm saying we are concluding that process. The letter has been issued by the president. It has been signed by the president. The ministers are finalizing their agreement based on the MTDP, because whatever that they're going to be signing, it must be aligned to the medium-term development plan. It must also be aligned to the state of the nation. Thanks, DG, and everyone.
Okay, thank you, DDG. Just to add that previously, when the agreements were signed, we published all of them, with the exception of that of state security, for obvious reasons. But all agreements, if I remember very well, they are still online, available. These are the old ones, and then the new ones will be concluded in due course. We are assisting the president, as the DDG has indicated. Now, on the compliance versus performance, this matter is a subject of regular discussions between ourselves and the Auditor General. We have been meeting with the Auditor General, and now there is agreement that we will focus on outcomes, so that departments don't just comply to get a clean audits, only to fail to effect change which needs to take place. So we can share this with the select committee, the way we've been working with the Auditor General, and the way we are complementing each other to ensure that we don't focus on compliance for the sake of good audit outcomes, but fail on impact. Let me ask the CFO, with your permission, Chairperson, to speak on the improvement on the control side of the organization, the work that we've been doing to ensure that the organization also complies with the prescripts. Over to you, CFO.
Thank you, Techi. Annually, after each audit, we would develop an audit action plan and come up with action plans that we would implement to improve the situation or avert the same findings being raised in the following audit. That is shared with National Treasury quarterly. We report to National Treasury quarterly. We report to the Audit Committee on progress quarterly. It gets to be audited as well by internal audit quarterly on that. And then also with AG at the beginning of each audit, they look at our action plans or audit action plans to check whether the findings that were reported were addressed. We improved controls on where there were inadequacies in the controls or they were not working properly. So we report quarterly to National Treasury after we've designed the audit action plan. And so far, in terms of some of the findings that were reported, they are not repeated in subsequent audits. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Chairperson. To conclude on the same point that I started with is that, so when a DDG is supposed to develop a document, usually the documents that we produce as DPME, they don't end up internally. They go through the clusters of government, they go to the Forum of Directors General, then move on to cabinet and end up here in Parliament. So we believe that that value chain forces the PME, because of its nature, to always account, because we can't produce documents and keep them internally within the PME. Our role is to make sure that they go through the different stages until we reach a Parliament, and that adds to quality assurance on the work that we do as a department. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you very much, DG. Honorable Treza, your turn, please.
Thank you very much, Chair. I'll go directly to my first question. What specific planning, monitoring, and evaluation tools does the Department of Planning, Monitoring, and Evaluation use to advise government departments on budget prioritization, especially to ensure that resources are allocated to high-impact projects that improve the lives of the poor and the working class? The second question pertains to post-evaluation. What post-evaluation systems does the department have in place in ensuring that all MIG projects in municipalities meet the life cycle of the monitoring and evaluation for completion of projects in instances where projects seem to be blocked, abandoned, or incomplete, and is the composition, what is the composition of the monitoring teams across your departments that you are monitoring, and how much allocation does your monitoring teams have, and whether you have it across metros, into districts, and local municipalities, as it were? The last question, Chair, is on early warning systems. Does the department have an early warning system in place as part of its constitutional duty to ensure responsive governance to flag deteriorating service delivery before it becomes a constitutional crisis, and therefore we are brought to a perpetual state of intervention that do not yield results, as seen in municipalities such as Ditsobot? What impact does it have on skills development, staff turnover, professionalization of public service? Those are my questions, Chair. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Treza. That's very good time management, and thank you for the questions. Honorable Nzimande, would you like to go as well?
No, thank you, Chair. My first question is, what is it that the department has brought in these plans that respond on dichotomous variables identified from different departments' performances? That's the first question. That obviously is linked with the second question that what is it that is new that the department is introducing in these plans, which they have never done before? This is in relation to the AG findings across all departments, and also it's on a backdrop that our understanding of the department, it's not to be just a spectator or people that just observe as they are talking about overseer. But our understanding is that they do have a obligation to facilitate government policies and programs that will then develop. It will be about issue of development of plans and whether they are aligned with the NDP and the key priorities. Meaning, in actual sense, at the early stages of planning, they should be actively participating. And the failure of departments really may definitely be squarely put at their doorstep. That's the second question. The last question, Chairperson, that one has, what is it that is so difficult for the department to detect the early warnings, signs through monitoring and accounting reports that are supposed to be submitted? Because that's where surely they should be given guidance and assist the departments, not only detect problems later. The issue of impact should also be deduced earlier, as there will be accounting and monitoring reports that are submitted to the department. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Nzimande. Thank you very much, Honorable Reza. Dr. Nkuna, can we handle those two sets of questions from those members, please? Thank you.
Okay, no, thanks, Chair, and thanks to honorable members. I'll make some comments and ask Mr. Lindsay Martin, who's the acting DDG in planning, to deal with the budget issues. Overall, our role in the budget, alignment between us and Treasury, so we will deal with that. Then DDG Timani needs to come back to talk about the district development model, the work that is being done there to improve coordination, and the work that we've been doing on early warning systems for disaster management in particular. But let me deal with the following examples, Chair, of how DPME will intervene when there are issues. So, for instance, we met the other day with the Department of Land Affairs, Rural Development, Land Affairs and Rural Development, and the Department of Traditional Affairs, to make sense of what is actually happening in the two departments. Now, in our discussion with them, the Department of Traditional Affairs says to us that they exist to empower traditional communities. And the Department of Rural Development says that it exists to empower rural communities. Now, spot the difference. Here we're talking about traditional communities and rural communities. And when we ask what is the difference between the two, it becomes clear that there is an overlap between the two departments. So DPME is able to pick up something like that. And once we pick up something like that, we then start a process of engaging with the departments so that we can harmonize the work that the two departments are doing. Secondly, we identify a long-standing problem in the Department of Public Works, that almost all government departments are complaining about the Department of Public Works. We did an evaluation which ended up in Parliament through the Public Service Commission because they also did something like that. So we will find out, Chair, well in advance and undertake evaluations that gives us the sense of issues. We have been on the side of the Defence Force in terms of the funding of the Defence Force, where we have suggested that when you do budget reprioritization, you cannot treat the Department of Defense the way you will treat, say, a DPME because of defense procurement. So we go deeper into issues. We do the same with NSFAS and then recommend what needs to be done. Now, the question that the committee will ask is whether our recommendations are heeded and whether a cabinet enforces the recommendations that we make as the department. The answer is yes. And what we have seen is that there are instances where when we engage with departments to for cost correction, departments sometimes will say there is no money. So there are those cases where we request that certain things be done to improve service delivery, only for departments to say to us that, no, if you give us additional resources, then we'll do what you are asking us to do. So there is also that reality that keeps on surfacing. But I can assure members that we do take into account many variables when we make recommendations. Just the last one on my side. Recently, we heard that the Department of Land and Rural Development wanted to give additional land to certain communities across the country. We cautioned against that and said that you cannot give land when you have not planned the aftercare, because we end up with a situation where people will get land, but you find that there are no resources to work the land after the land has been given. And we will be engaging with this department to find a way. In fact, we've already started by talking to the land bank, that shouldn't the land bank be involved, so that when land is given, at least the value chain is also mapped, so that the aftercare is also attended to. So these are just examples of how DPME will pick up issues well in advance and then make the necessary interventions. Very lastly, in the security space, we have been asking the cluster to propose a value chain resource analysis, so that you do not end up with a situation where SAPS has more resources, but there are no resources at justice. So you arrest as many people as you can, but you find that justice has no capacity to process those people. Be someone for stealing bread, staying for, as the minister was saying, as at correctional services before trial for 3 years, just because of that. So it shows that we need to ensure that the value chain is well resourced. We are still waiting for that work to be done by the cluster. So this was our own idea, so that Treasury can work on the basis of the value chain as opposed to treating the departments individually. So, Chair, with your permission, I will ask ADDG Lindsay Martin to deal with budget matters, but also the role of Infrastructure South Africa in the assessment of APPs. And then DDG Timani will talk about the work we do to strengthen the district development model, and also the early warning systems for disaster management. Those will be the two colleagues who will speak, Chair, with your permission. Over to you, colleagues.
Thank you, DG. Good morning, Honourable Chair and members. In terms of the first issue around the link between the budget and the plans, maybe just to start to highlight, I mean, in terms of Chapter 4 of the PFMA, National Treasury is still responsible for the whole budget process. However, DPME does play a key role in that process, especially around linking priorities to budgets. So we developed the budget prioritization framework, which is an annual instrument. And then we participate in the various budget forums and committees that lead ultimately to the recommendations around the allocations, which is the Ministers' Committee of the Budget. As part of that process, though, I mean, we then say, okay, what are the existing commitments and plans of government, like the medium-term development plan, like the State of the Nation address, and then we say within the engagements with departments, how do you reprioritize funding towards those commitments? One key innovation being introduced, so I mean, I think the Minister of Finance highlighted this in the last budget. As part of this medium-term expenditure framework, Treasury is also introducing what they call performance and expenditure reviews as part of the process. The purpose of those reviews is to look at both spending performance and non-financial performance, and say, are programs performing? Do these need to be restructured, and can funding be reprioritized away from underperforming programs to those that do perform, given fiscal constraints, etc. In terms of the planning instruments, I think was the second question. How do we accommodate from different perspectives as part of that? So firstly, as part of the medium-term development plan, we accounted for a range of different research work and review work, including our own work within DPME. So in terms of past performance, we looked at the 30-year review. We looked at the 10-year review of the NDP itself. We engaged with the National Planning Commission in terms of the advisory note, which we incorporated. And of course, we also considered the statement of intent of the GNU members themselves. We then consulted across government, as DG highlighted earlier, engaging with clusters, with FOSSAD, through the extended cabinet, the hotline engagements, and ultimately to cabinet, to get all those different perspectives, to ultimately then deliver the medium-term development plan, which cabinet approved. We then said, as part of that, how do we make sure that departments, in terms of their what we call institutional plans, annual performance plans, account for those priorities? Our minister issued Circular 1 of 2025 in March this year, which advised departments then to account for priorities in their APPs. We did an assessment of those draft plans. We work with a range of centre of government departments, including the Department of Women, Youth, Persons with Disabilities, the Climate Change Commission, Infrastructure SA, National Treasury, who then assist us with doing an assessment on those draft plans to say, do they account for the priorities of government? And then we provide recommendations back to departments who ultimately then finalise their plans before they table those to Parliament for deliberation, etc. So in that's it in a nutshell of how the instruments essentially fit together. Thank you, DG.
Okay, thank you, Chair. With your permission, we'll quickly deal with the district development model, the work that we're doing there to improve coordination, working with the Department of Cooperative Governance, and the DDG will also touch on the disaster management system, the ongoing review. Over to you, DDG Timan.
Yeah, thanks, DG. Maybe just to emphasize on the issue that has been raised, on the issues of results based versus compliance. Maybe let me say, when we went to cabinet last week, we have reflected on this issue, and we're very frank to the president and the cabinet that the planning coordination, TTG Lindsay, they've conducted an assessment of the annual performance plan and the strategic plans. And one of the key findings, you still get departments who don't plan for development, but they just plan for compliance. It is an issue. Hence, DG spoke about the issues of Auditor General. And I know that coming back from the cabinet, we have convened a meeting on Thursday, because we're there on Tuesday. TTG Lindsay was there. I think we had to make sure that we come up with a process plan. I know that there's an element of the Auditor General, but the cabinet was saying just work with National Treasury and TPSA. So we have requested TTG Lindsay to come up with a process plan, and there'll be a technical steercom that deals with that issue to say, let's make sure that you become results oriented. We need to be governed by MTTP, because we're forever having departments not planning for development but planning for compliance. It's an issue which we have reflected in cabinet. I thought, let me just touch on it, DG and honorable members. I think on the issues of local government, yes, I'll come to DTM. Issues of local government, we know the challenges that are faced by local government. And President has established an interministerial committee on local government that is chaired by Minister Hlabisi. There's a focus on 10 distressed municipalities, and that IMC consisting of different departments, your treasury, DPME will participate to make sure that there's progress in terms of service delivery in local government and other related matters. And Department of Culture, they've established what you call your results management office, where they deploy people who are conversant on local government to different municipalities. For example, in the Tsobotla, we have Dr. Diwe, who has been deployed just to be a results management officer for that municipality. As DPME, we are working with Dr. Diwe. Currently, we are assisting the Tsobotla because SARS is taking all the monies. They didn't make the arrangement, and the SARS is coming on board to say we are willing to make sure that there's an arrangement that is made by the municipality. Issues of LED, there was a strategy that was reviewed 2 weeks ago, and there's socio-economic work that is happening. So the monitoring is happening. I thought, let me just reflect on the issues of the Tsobotla. As you know, that the president has also established the Itegwini presidential working group. We have shared that information in cabinet. There's some milestones that we can share with the members of parliament. There's now a Joburg working group. I know that it has just been initiated, but we've got AMA streams that are sitting. We've got the priority areas. We can even share in terms of what we are doing. But what we have recommended was that because the MTDP say we need to make sure that the municipalities are working, particularly the metros. So we said our focus must not just be for Joburg and eThekwini. We need to make sure that we cut across even in your Nelson Mandela Bay, your Mbombela and all that. That's a recommendation that we have made to COGTA. Coming to district development model, we know that it is a concept to drive a developmental agenda in the country. It's not just for government, it's for civil society, all three spheres of government, the business and everyone who participate. There are regulations because the question has been, you speaking DTM, but are you having any regulation? So the regulation have been promulgated, and what is happening, we have conducted, obviously working with DCOG, there's a rapid assessment that has been conducted, whether we're winning in terms of the one plans and all that, but we even had a meeting through our DG Nkuna and DG Changane to say you want to make sure that we drive the TTM even further. In the recommendation of that meeting, we have made a recommendation that now we are getting the report, one plan report from the TTM champion. Even now, there are reports that are due that we need to assess whether we are winning on the TTM, and we want to see where there's a red flag, and we need to make sure that there's an intervention. So there's work that is happening on that one, and when you look at the regulation, that also speaks about the presidential steercom. We are resuscitating the presidential steercom, and I know DG, they have been requested that I must share that steercom so that we need to monitor the TTM across. We need to see who's doing well, who's not doing well, but there's work that is happening on the district development model. Now we have the regulation, we just need to make sure that we implement. And then lastly, on the issues of the rapid, we know that one, maybe let me start by saying, we have also reflected on the biannual report to say the DCOG, Disaster Management Center, they are finalizing the disaster management framework because our current framework, it's not, maybe it's unable to respond largely on issues of disasters. Hence, the cabinet took a decision that that framework must be reviewed. They're finalizing the framework. We have requested that it must come at GSKIT. I think next month, it's going to come at GSKIT. And I know that Minister Tlhabisa also committed to the president that is going to come the issues of disaster management. After the framework, then the Disaster Management Act will be amended. We have reflected on the report that we took to cabinet last week, but we are still concerned to say what happens when there's a weather services report, because and that the weather services report they'll issue to say we'll be at level 4, and then you still find people who are stuck in N3. What is happening? So we have to make sure that we go on the ground. There's an assessment that we have conducted in the Eastern Cape and in KZN, just to interview the civil society and even the members of the public to say, are you aware about what do we do when there's a weather services report, issues of evacuation and all of that. So we've got the results. We have shared the results with the National Disaster Management Center, the provincial disaster management centers, your Red Cross, weather services, and we have put an improvement plan so that we make sure that we implement what people are saying and what the civil society is saying, because I think it has been a concern, even with the issue of Mtata. The question was, there was a notice what did you do? We can't wait for people to die, then we want to react. And I know that it's another issue that has been raised even in cabinet to say, how do you deal with the issue of disaster? But the framework largely will also be looking at the issues of evacuation, like in other countries where currently they work with the defense to deal with the issues of the framework, because I know that they've been to different countries, yeah. But I think with time, DG will bring the information after the framework has been reviewed. But we are doing something on issues of disaster because disasters are here, climate change is here, and municipalities need to make sure that they have their plans. When there's a disaster, there must be an action. I think we must be on the preventative side rather than being on the reactive. Thanks very much, DG and everyone.
No, thank you, DDG. Chair, just to conclude very quickly, in terms of some of the direct interventions in certain sectors that we initiate as DPME, one, we have approached the DECO, the Department of International Relations and Cooperation, and said that we need to undertake the review of all binational commissions, the extent to which have been they are being implemented. So this is our initiative to say that we can't just be signing agreements, international agreements. We need to have a sense on the extent to which the same agreements are being implemented. We have started another project with the Civilian Secretariat for Police, where we said that the integrated crime and violence prevention strategy needs to be translated into a comprehensive plan with clear indicators, allocation of roles throughout the value chain of the state. And that will include the extent to which the economic cluster departments also play a role in fighting against a crime. Lastly, is the work that we're doing with the Department of Science, Technology and Innovation. We approached them and said that we can't run an economy, a modern economy, where innovation is a by the way issue. We need to mainstream innovation, and we are currently working with them to ensure that innovation cuts across the whole economic value chain. So we are giving these examples just so that honorable members appreciate that we can initiate activities or interventions working with other government departments. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you very much indeed, DG. I think with the lack of budget in various departments, innovation is going to become key going into the future. From my side, if I may, I don't see any more hands. I saw Honorable Moimang had his hand up, but I don't see his hand now.
Yes. I'm still here.
Honorable Moimang, would you like to continue?
Thank you. It's just one from my side, Chair, which emanates from the sixth term legacy report. One of the areas that the report talks to is the need, and it's something that we raise with the department. The need to ensure that there is an alignment between the APP and the strat plan, with putting much more emphasis on ensuring that those APPs is able to address the national development plan, because an area that was identified from the 10-year review that was presented to the committee in the sixth term was appreciating the fact that we are not doing well in terms of meeting our national development plan targets. So the question that I want to pose to the DG is whether, in terms of the assessment that they have done on the APPs, does it give us comfort to say there will be a turnaround in terms of meeting the targets as raised in the National Development Plan? Thank you, Honorable Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Honorable Moimang. DG, from my side, if I may, and it's always difficult because I come in at the end and all my committee members always ask the good questions, but I think I'd like to concentrate maybe on citizen engagement, if you don't mind. How is the citizen feedback from frontline service delivery monitoring being integrated into institutional reform or budget planning? And then are there any other complaints logged through the presidential hotline? Are they being resolved faster now? And is there a measurable improvement in citizen satisfaction that you can monitor? And then lastly, and I think you might have touched on it, I just want to know what progress has been made with regards to the institutionalization of the National Anti-Corruption Strategy, and how has this been tracked in line with the National Development Plan's governance targets? Thank you very much, DG. Over to you. We still have another 10 minutes. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chairperson. On the first question raised by Honorable Moimang, we are not where we're supposed to be, and we must be honest as DPME on this issue. There are still gaps in terms of the alignment or misalignment in the system that make it very difficult for the state to function efficiently. I'll give you an example quickly. The Northern Cape, for instance, has strategic resources that all of us need to drive and grow the economy. Now, if you leave everything to the Northern Cape with their small budget, you end up with a situation whereby we can't harvest a green hydrogen, solar, and many other opportunities in that space. So what we have done, as an example, we have a team of DDGs who are here, who are working with the Northern Cape to identify strategic opportunities that are not just provincial, but they are national, so that we can then take that information, go to the cluster concern and say, we've done an analysis and assessment of strategic opportunities in the Northern Cape, but those opportunities do not belong to the Northern Cape, they are national. And we need to get departments that are affected to work with the Northern Cape. We just came back from the West Coast in Saldanha Bay, where we have done the same thing to meet with all the municipalities, the mayors, and the municipal managers with a serious discussion on the state of things in the West Coast, in the Western Cape. And we said that we don't want the West Coast to be worse than what it is now. So what are the things that we need to do in the West Coast to make sure that we first arrest the industrialization that is taking place around steel? So there are many activities that we have identified, and we will be going back to the West Coast. Where we are now, we have been in meeting with international organizations, including the African Development Bank, on the SEZ in Mpumalanga, which was announced more than 10 years ago, but has not taken off, and we are trying to assist the situation. Now, on the frontline issues, DDG Gugu Timani spend most of their time meeting with provinces and municipalities to unlock issues that come due to the presidential hotline, so we can supply or submit a report on the work that we've done recently to follow up on the provinces and the municipalities in terms of responses. Lastly, on the national strategy, the anti-corruption strategy, the following have been done. So we have established the advisory council that is headed by Professor Kachalia, who is now going to be the acting minister of police. So that is working, and then reports are submitted to the president. DPME, working with the German GIZ, provides secretariat services. So the German GIZ gave us funding to the department, and we appointed a capacity, people who are providing support to the advisory council. We have a dedicated team that report on the implementation of the recommendations of the Zondo Commission, as well as those coming from the SIU. So this work is done on the side of the DPME, although they will be expressed on the other side in the presidency, because we are providing support to the president and the presidency. But in terms of the recommendations, they go straight to the president for consideration, and we play that supportive role. Thank you.
DG, thank you very much. Honourable members, there is 5 minutes left in the question time. If anybody has a follow-up question to the original question, we can quickly handle that. Just show me your hands. Honourable Peter, your hand has been up the whole time. Is that a legacy hand?
Chair, maybe just one, given the
Yes, sir.
opportunity that
My
we have.
legacy hand. Sorry.
Okay, no problem. Thank you. Honourable Muimang,
Just
please
in
go
terms
ahead.
of the interaction between the department and parliament, in terms of putting parliament in a much more better position to exercise its oversight, particularly in terms of capacity. Has there been any interaction between the department and parliament to help it exercise its oversight role? Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Muimang. DG, do you want to touch on that, please?
Yes, very quickly, Diriji Mashamba talk about the capacity building that the department has been doing in parliament, a focus on evaluations. Over to you.
Thank you very much. Yes, we have started a process to deepen our interface with parliamentary committees, following a request by the Parliamentary Committee on Planning, Monitoring and Evaluation last year, that they wanted to be familiarized with some of the concepts and instruments that we use in the practice of monitoring and evaluation. So we have worked with our partners, the Twendembele, which means going forward together, and a platform that we use in the continent for peer learning across countries, to say this is an opportunity that we can actually facilitate a training program that has been used for parliamentarians in various countries. Actually, Uganda has done it so many times better. So we pull them in to bring 5 countries also, and invited other committee members, other committees of parliament to attend this program. We have run the first leg of that at the end of May for 3 days in Cape Town. We have identified out of that an opportunity to focus an intervention for content advisors and researchers, committee researchers, on specific tools that will help enhance how they extract evidence that we produce from government and from other sources that we use to better support the work of parliamentary committees, so that we can both, because we share this responsibility of deepening accountability, strengthening accountability, and also evidence use in all our processes. So that's where we are. We are going to be, we have written back to through the chair of chairs to share the report of the previous intervention, and also our plans going forward. I'm sure the chairs will receive a copy of that letter and future communication in this regard. Thank you.
DG, thank you very much. I take it that there's no further questions, and we've also now run out of time. I would like to thank you, Dr. Nkuna. Do you have any closing remarks?
Chairperson? My apology. My humble
I'm sorry, but we are now running out of time, and I have given you two bites at the cherry already. We need to get quite a bit of business, further business resolved before the end of the meeting time.
Yes, but it's just a
Very
follow-up,
quick.
Chair, and I think it will help. It will help ourselves and also
Sure. Okay,
yourself as the
then
chair.
please go ahead, but let's stick to a quick one, please.
Yes, the interaction that the department had with the portfolio committee on evaluation on the NA side, I believe that put us in a much more better position also because you are heading this committee, particularly on this department. That will help us, and we must also not be left out of that consultative process, so that it put us in a much more better position to then request them to help us to craft and more emphasis on provinces and local government in terms of evaluation and monitoring. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. That is valuable input. Thank you very much, Honorable Moimang. DG, would you like to do any closing remarks?
We are covered, and if the whip can engage with our parliamentary office so that we can give you information on the available reports, and then you can then decide on which ones you want to have presented to the committee. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think Dr. Clark has taken note of that. I would like to thank you, Dr. Nkuna, for you and your team. The DDGs, thank you very much in those difficult circumstances for yourselves. You're busy with another engagement at this stage, but I'd like to thank you for taking the time to meet with our committee and to allow us to do oversight and to interrogate your budget and your APP. Thank you very much for your presence. You are now welcome to take your leave and continue your business. Thank you very much. Honourable members, let us continue with our business. We just had to do consideration and adoption of two items. I'd like Mr. Mtelini, can you take control back and then flight the Select Committee report on the oversight visit to Transnet, so we can handle that first. Thank you very much, honourable members. So we have before us the draft report on the Select Committee on Public Infrastructure and Minister in the Presidency on the oversight visit to Transnet divisions at the Cape Town Port on the 18th of June 2025, and that report is dated for today. You can just scroll down. The report has been sent to all the members prior to this meeting, and I am sure that they've had a time to peruse the report. Unfortunately, not all our members were present during that oversight visit, but I do like to say, while we going down the report, thank you very much for all the members who did attend. It was an extremely informative oversight visit, as is clear from the report.
Chairperson, on the attendees.
Yep.
Attendees, I see that I'm left out of that. This time
were you there,
I was there, Honorable Chairperson. Thank
so
you.
We will, can we correct that, please, Dr. Clark or Mr. Mtelini, before we adopt the report?
Chairperson, I think we can adopt the report. It will be corrected.
We will include that. Okay, thank you very much. Are you okay with that, Honourable Moimang, that we make the commitment that we will include your name in the adopted report?
Yes, Chair. Therefore, I move that the report with the amended part be adopted by the committee.
Thank you very much. Is there a seconder for that? Thank you very much, Dr. Skierkogel. We appreciate that. Let us move over to the next item. That is the minutes of our meeting, which was held on the 9th of July. And also then we will do after that the minutes of the 15th of July. We're just waiting for those minutes to be flighted for the 9th of July first, Mr. Mpelini. Thank you very much. Thank you. That was our minutes of the meeting that was held with PRASA on the 9th of July. You can just go to the attendance. I think that's the most important. Honourable members, are you all happy with that?
Yes, Chair, I move.
Thank you very much. The report, the minutes have been circulated, thank you. Who's the mover? Is it Honourable Peter?
Yes, Chair.
I second, Chair.
Thank you. And seconded by Honourable Muhima. And can we flight the minutes of the 15th of July? Thank you, Mr. Mtelini. The minutes of the 15th of July, that was our meeting that we had with the IDT on the strat plan and budget. Let's just go to the attendance. I think that's the most important. Full attendance with one apology. And can I have a proposer for these minutes, please? Thank you, Honourable Skeerkogel, a seconder.
It's me, Peter, I second, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Peter. Much appreciated. Honourable members, thank you very much. That takes care of that part of our agenda. We are now going to break just to give Dr. Clark an opportunity to prepare the report for us. Can I please ask that we all convene at 5 minutes to 1 in order, and if we're all present, then we can start the business of the day, or conclude the business of the day. Thank you very much. The meeting is now adjourned until 5 minutes to 1. Thank you for your attendance.
Thank you, Chair.
Mr. Mtelini, are you there?
I'm in, Chair.
Okay, it's 5-1. Do we have a quorum yet?
Let me count. With yourself, Honorable Mlokome, Honorable Skerskochel, and Honorable Miemang. Others are still here. We do have a quorum. Honorable Kaunda, Honorable Peter. We do have a quorum.
Okay, so let's just give it 5 minutes and we'll do it at 10 o'clock. We'll
1 o'clock.
Oh, sorry, 10 o'clock. At 1 o'clock, we'll go through the report quickly. Honorable members, thank you very much. It is now 10 o'clock, and I thank you for signing back into the meeting for the continuation, just to adopt the report on our meeting this morning with the Department of Planning, Monitoring and Evaluation. The report has been circulated to all of you. prior to our reconvening of this meeting. Can we just confirm, Mr. Mthalini, that we are correct?
Yes, Chairperson, I can confirm that we do correct.
Thank you very much. Mr. Mthalini, can you just scroll through the report, honourable members? As I said, the report has been circulated. I think the most important part of the report is the recommendations at the end of the report. So I think, Mr. Mthalini, if we can just scroll through the report. If any of the members have picked up anything that they would like to address in the body of the report, kindly just indicate by raising your hand. Can we scroll down the report, please, Mr. Mthalini?
The person is Dr. Clark was flighting.
Thank you, Dr. Clark. Dr. Clark, and I just want to thank you very much for doing this report in a very short space of time. We appreciate it. Honourable members, we're just scrolling down the report. If there is anything that comes to mind or that you need to point our attention to, kindly just raise your hands and we'll address it. Great. And the recommendations, I think that's the important part. It's recommended that the Minister for the Department 4.1, 4.2, 4.3, 4.4, 4.5, 4.6, 4.7, Dr. Clark, just the province should be provide. First word there. Thank you. And that's the report to be considered. Honourable members, are there any comments or queries on the report? Can I have a proposer for the report by show of hands, please? The proposer.
Just clarity on one point, Honourable Chair.
Sure, no problem. Before we go to proposing and secondment, Honourable Moimane, Moimang, you've got a problem?
On point, that's not a problem. On 4.5, that the Select Committee write to the House Chair requesting that the brief for future capacity building engagement to be hosted by the DPME. I thought it will be to be hosted by the Select Committee, hosting the DPME. It must be hosted by you, Chair, not by the department. You are the one that must host.
Correct. That's,
yes.
I agree with that, Dr. Clark. That a brief for future capacity building engagements with the DPME, or I think we should include DPME somewhere in there to say, yeah, does that read correctly? The Select Committee write to the House Chair requesting that the brief for future capacity building engagements with the DPME to be hosted by the Select Committee include a component looking at provincial focus monitoring and evaluation tools and frameworks. Are you happy with that, Honourable Moimang?
Yes, I'm happy. I'm happy, Chair.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Therefore, I move.
Thank you very much for the mover. Can I have a seconder? Thank you very much, Honourable Breed. Honourable members, the report has to be adopted. So can we just have all of those in favour of adopting the report? Just raise your hands, please. Thank you very much. Are there any abstentions? You can lower your hands now. Are there any abstentions? Chief Whip, your hand is still up.
Chair, my hand was up, but this gadget did not make it appear. I'm supporting the report.
Thank you very much, Honourable Kaunda. Much appreciated. Are there anyone against the adoption of this report? Honourable Nzimande,
don't support.
We've noted that you are against the report.
Yeah, I don't support Mr. Nzimande.
Sure. So it's not against the budget, it's against the report.
I'm against also the report itself.
you're against the report, and we note that Honorable Keza is also against the report. Can we just note that as well in the body of the report that that the EFF and the MK parties was members of the EFF and MK parties was against the report or voted against the report.
Yes, Chairperson, it will be included as minority views.
Pardon, Dr. Clark, I can't hear.
It will be included as minority views, Chair, in the report.
Okay, thank you very much. Honourable members, that concludes our business of the day. I thank you for your attendance, and I wish you a good afternoon in the plenary. Thank you very much. Meeting is now adjourned.
It's up. How are you? All well. I'm good. Can I have the phone? When you see me, just get distracted. A second. Even to another lady. I Ngiye manje khona ngilahle khona. Lo sisi wakho lo uyasikhuthimaza. Hayi ngeke iqhubeke.